Welcome to the Pizza Rose Podcast. This is Ed, the fantastic general manager who is very excited to go on someplace very important today. But I won't reveal too much because this is episode 28, the corporate retreat.
It's a Wednesday afternoon. Ed sits in his office and reads the email he's been waiting years for.
This is it,
Ed thinks.
I finally made it.
On the computer screen is an email officially inviting Ed to the upcoming corporate retreat. Congratulations, Ed. You've reached GM Level 7. We are honored to invite you to this year's all expenses paid Pizza Bros corporate retreat in Charlottesburg.
Yes!
Ed exclaims.
Finally, I'm a high enough level to go on the free corporate retreat with all the movers and shakers in the company. My ship has finally come in.
Ed admires his reflection in a mirror next to the desk, straightens what's left of his hair, and says to himself,
We're going places, buddy.
Ed's gaze returns to his computer as he continues to read the email. Click here to read the legal disclaimer of what the trip includes and what Pizza Bros will provide on this trip, continues the email.
Legal disclaimer? Who reads that? It's all expenses paid,
says Ed as he ignores the most important part of the email and continues on with his day. A few weeks pass. Ed gets all his travel supplies ready. He packs his bags and meets with Beth the day before he leaves.
I'm going to be gone for a full week, not just one night. I'm sure you'll be fine, but I just want to review everything that needs to be done while I'm gone to keep the store running smoothly,
says Ed.
You have to place food order on Monday and Thursday, states Ed.
Yes, I know,
says an irritated Beth.
Place soda order on Tuesday,
he continues.
Yeah, I know,
reassures Beth.
Don't let any of the drivers push you around, and make sure Travis actually shows up for his shifts, continues Ed.
Seriously, I've got this. I've been the assistant manager for months now. I know how to do the job. Will you just go on vacation already?
Insists Beth.
Oh, and one last thing. No more plastic dough trays in the oven, please, says Ed.
I messed up one time,
exclaims Beth.
I'm never going to live that down, am I?
Nope,
says Ed. The next day, Ed gets to the airport and has a pleasant flight in business class. He lands and arrives at the fancy hotel where the corporate retreat is being held.
Finally, the vacation I deserve,
Ed says to himself.
I'm happy that working hard for Pizza Bros is finally starting to pay off.
Ed pushes open the big glass doors of the hotel and is blown away at how upscale the hotel really is.
Wow!
Exclaims Ed.
I could never afford this on my own.
A bellhop approaches Ed and asks,
May I help you with your bags, sir?
Sir?
Ed says aloud, surprised that anyone would treat him with respect. Ed thinks to himself for a moment.
These guys get paid tips and I'm broke.
Suddenly, in Ed's mind, he sees a heavenly light shine on himself, and he hears a choir of angels sing, All expenses paid. Feeling like that was his sign to go forward with enjoying a little pampering and to stay, Ed decides to go ahead with the request.
Sure!
Ed excitedly replies to the bellhop.
Wonderful, sir. Check-in is this way,
says the bellhop. Ed checks into the hotel and is guided by the bellhop to his room. The bellhop places Ed's bags in his room and waits patiently for his tip. He clears his voice and asks,
Should we just charge this service to your room?
Ed thinks for a moment.
Sure. Sounds good.
Great. Thank you very much. And just so you know, the menu for room service is right next to the phone. Have a wonderful day,
says the bellhop with a smile as he leaves the room.
Room service?
Ed mumbles to himself. Ed's stomach grumbles loudly, and he decides that room service sounds like a good idea. Ed picks up the menu and surveys his options. The first thing that strikes him, though, is not the options. It's the prices.
Whoa! This is all pretty expensive,
Ed says aloud. Suddenly, an angelic light shines on Ed and he hears a choir of angels sing, All expenses paid.
Ha! What do I care? Pizza Bros is paying for it.
Ed then looks through the menu and sees exactly what he wants. He picks up the phone and dials room service.
Hello. Yes, I'll take 2 fillets, please, with loaded baked potatoes. Yeah, can you have those cooked well done? Also, I need a side of ketchup.
Back at Pizza Bros, Steve and Dennis wait for orders to come in. What do you think Ed is doing right now? Asks Steve.
It's an all-expenses-paid trip. So, if I had to guess, he's probably laying by the pool and drinking drinks that he knows he normally can't afford,
replies Dennis. Back at the hotel, it turned out that Dennis was right. Immediately after eating 2 full steak entrees, Ed put on his swim trunks and headed to the pool.
Pardon me, waiter? I'd like another top shelf Mai Tai. Oh, and charge that one to my room as well.
Ed informs the poolside waiter. When he finishes making his request, he once again sees the angelic light and hears a choir of angels sing, "All expenses paid." Later that evening at the Pizza Bros cocktail hour, Ed mixes with other general managers who have been invited to the corporate retreat. Everyone wears their normal Pizza Bros shirt and tie combo, except for Ed, who wears a brand new tuxedo he purchased for the trip. Ed sips a martini from a cocktail glass and talks to his good friend Ted from the Chuck Fallon store.
Wow, Ed, you sure are a big spender these days. They must pay you very well at the Chesterwood store,
comments Ted.
Well, you know me,
says Ed.
Money is no object.
Ed turns and addresses the room full of men and women that look exactly like him and insists,
"Friends, tonight, drinks are on me."
The Eds and Edettes all cheer. Suddenly, Ed imagines the angelic light and the singing choir of angels. "All expenses paid." This pattern repeats itself through every day and amenity that the hotel can offer. Ed takes advantage of the super deluxe massage and spa package. A full body massage, a mani-pedi, and his scalp is treated with hair regrowth chemicals. He spends his days soaking up the sun and drinks by the pool. And he never forgets that if he has any desires, room service is always only a short phone call away. At the end of the week, Ed has been pampered, fed, and massaged into a stress-free ball of jelly. He walks down the hall towards the front desk with the glow of a light sunburn. Ed, as of this moment, has decided that the best 3 words in the English language are, "all expenses paid." Ed slides up to the desk without a care in the world. Normally, if this were any other time in a hotel, Ed would have been a nervous wreck from worrying about the final bill. But not this time, because he knows that he doesn't owe a dime.
"That was the best vacation I've ever had,"
says Ed with a pleasant smile on his normally frowning face.
I'm so glad to hear that,
says the front desk clerk, returning the smile.
"I'm ready to check out,"
says Ed as he slides his room key back to the clerk. The clerk scans the card and pulls up the room. He punches a few keys on the keyboard and the hotel's printer spits out several pages of paper in rapid succession. The clerk collates the pages and staples them together.
Here's the bill for your incidentals,
the clerk says happily as he hands the paper to Ed.
"Pizza Bros is taking care of all that,"
says Ed as he pushes the paper back towards the clerk. Ed, for the last and final time, sees an angelic light shine and hears a choir of angels sing, "All expenses paid." The angelic singing, though, is stopped suddenly by a clerk who has unfortunate news for Ed.
Oh dear, we run into this every year. You must be new to the retreat,
the clerk states.
"Yeah, this is my first time,"
replies a less pleasant than before Ed.
Pizza Bros takes care of your airfare, hotel room, and 2 entry-level meals per day. What you chose are what we call premium services, meals, and drinks,
the clerk continues.
But, I heard angels singing,"
stammers Ed as he protests. The front desk clerk nods knowingly.
Ah, yes. That tends to happen to all the new employees who come on the retreat. Didn't your mother ever tell you that there are fallen angels too?
He hands the bill back to Ed.
Your total is highlighted at the bottom of the page.
Ed takes the paper and examines it. When he sees the total, his heart drops clear through his stomach and he almost faints.
$3,495.32,
Ed exclaims.
Yes, sir. And how will you be paying today?
Asks the clerk. Ed freezes. He begins to sweat and cry. Ed pulls out his wallet. His hands shake as he hands the clerk a fistful of credit cards.
You'll have to spread it out over all these,
Ed says, sad that his vacation, both mental and physical, has come to its conclusion. The end.
This is Beth. Thanks for listening to the Pizza Bros podcast. Don't forget to go to therealpizzabros.com and do all the things that they always tell you to do. And I would just like to make a note that I did not burn down the store this time, nor did I burn any plastic dough trays. Thanks for listening.